Hello guys, how's it going today? And we are going to purchase the Rogue, and this plane costs $1,200,000 for trade-in price, or $1,596,000 for regular price. Now, let's get on to the customization. Okay, so let's get right down to the customization. Now, what you guys notice that's strange about this plane is it's kind of like a hybrid between a bomber and a fighter, and it kind of reminds me of the attack plane in Battlefield 1, except it's modern. Basically, this plane is called a Tucano in real life, and this plane is actually one of the best, from what I've read, it's one of the best beginners planes in real life, the best beginners planes for military use, and it's used to train fighter pilots all around the world. Now, this plane can be equipped with explosive cannons or standard machine guns, the regular bomb payload, and it can be equipped with homing missiles. You can also have the armor upgrades on it, the flares, and the typical race handling that we have in planes. Its armor allows it to take 3 homing launchers, blowing up on the third one. Okay, and there we go. Matches our pilot suit nicely. This plane has amazing takeoff. It speeds up very quickly in comparison to other planes, and its takeoff is relatively smooth. So as you guys saw, we had that small dock to take off from, easily handled it. Now here in this frame, I wanted to test agility right now, and this clip is sped up, but basically I told my friend to get behind me here and try to keep following me and see if I could get up behind him. And you know, when you do those ring around the rosies when you get into dogfights, and that's really important in a dogfight. It's usually when two planes get into combat with each other in GTA and they miss each other, they start flying around this circle until one player gets behind up the other player and kills them. And in this one, I wasn't able to get behind the laser. This proves right here that the laser does have the best agility in the game, but I was able to defeat the Hydra a few times. Let me show you guys that right now. So here I wanted to show you the cannon in dogfighting mode. Now, while the Rogue had a hard time getting behind the laser in a ring around the Rosie fight while dogfighting, because the laser has good agility, the Hydra doesn't have as good agility as the laser, and because of that, I was able to get behind him right here with my Rogue, and I was able to land shots. And even though the shots fire slower, I did find it easier to hit with this, because specifically the shots are spread out. The Hydra is pretty long when you're firing at it sideways, and because the shots are wider. Now, one thing I want to point out about this plane is if you go into the interaction menu in vehicles, and this is for every plane by the way, but if you set vehicle bomb bay control to co-pilot, you can still fire your main guns in this plane, the cannons, the explosive cannons, and the missiles, while your co-pilot bombs, which you can devastate a target if you are aiming at them. So right here, I'm aiming at this jet right here. You guys see it on the ground. I'm shooting at it. I blow that up, and I fly over the second jet, and my co-pilot bombs the shit out of it. So we just hit 2 targets when normally we would have been able to hit 1 target if we only had the cannons. I wanted to point out that this plane has an amazing landing capability. It has 3 wheels when it lands on, and it's very hard to crash this plane if you land. I could be going at the craziest speed, at crazy angles, and I can still land the plane. So I landed it quick there. Even in this angle here, I land the plane on 1 wheel also, and I managed to turn it around completely. So it has great landing. And here, guys, I wanted to demonstrate some of what the explosive cannon can do. And this explosive cannon is good at taking out wider targets and other air vehicles like jets and longer helicopters, but it is not good at taking out small ground targets like what the laser or the Hydra could do with its cannon. Now look, my friend down there, see him in the little small car? There's a flare right next to his car also. He's right down the runway, right where the yellow light is. And I just made 1 pass, and I'm trying as hard as possible right now to blow him up. And the problem with this is this cannon fires slower than the Hydra and the laser, and also it's wider, so it's not centralized. And it's really hard to hit the target. So I missed Saucer Cats twice. I made 2 passes right now, and I can't hit them. And let's see if I can hit him right now on this pass. So right there, I hit him, but I didn't even kill him. And that's a stationary target. So if he was moving, I would have no chance of hitting him unless it was some by godly luck. And right here, last attempt, still can't hit him. Let's test this with a Hydra now and see what difference is. And look, guys, this is my first attempt doing this in a Hydra, and I'm going to be hitting the same target. And look, the guns on this one are straight, they're not spread out, and they fire much faster. Look, got him on the first attempt. He had no chance. So as you guys see, Hydra and Laser's guns are much more effective than the Rogue's guns. Now here I wanted to point out the missiles on the Rogue are not great because there is a delay in them, unlike in others like the Starling and the Molotov, which has unlimited. And in this frame right here, this clip is sped up, But basically, I wanted to do a quick speed test to see just how fast this rogue plane was exactly versus the Hydra. So this is speed test number 1. And you guys saw I took off much quicker than the Hydra. I got down the runway a lot quicker. And I'm off. I'm flying. So I'm ahead of the Hydra, and he's having a really hard time catching up to me. Let's do speed test number 2, and let's see if it's similar. Okay, here we go. Speed test number 2. And here we go. Okay, so again, I'm getting much more down the runway than the Hydra. Flying. This Hydra's closer to me this time. He took off a little earlier, but it's pretty close right now. But I am getting ahead. So from my experience right here, the Rogue is faster than the Hydra. Okay, so here, let's do the final part on this plane. Let's look at the pros. Now the pros are this plane is very fast. As you guys saw, it beat a Hydra in speed. It's the best beginner plane, so even if you aren't a beginner, get this plane. But if you are a beginner, this plane will do great for you. It's $1,200,000, and it's really good for the money. It's great on landings. It has 3 wheels. It's probably the best Smuggler's Run vehicle to land that I've seen so far. There might be a better one released, but currently I've seen it's the best one. It can land so quickly. It has 3 wheels, and even on the most roughest landing I've landed. It can bomb and shoot, so you can have a pilot shooting the cannon, and you can have a co-pilot bombing at the same time, so you can hit multiple targets at once. It has ejection seats, and the reason I put ejection seats in there is because ejection seats are when you just shoot right out of the plane, kind of like in a jet when you're parachuting. And the reason that's more effective and the reason I'm putting that in this review is because that when you are dogfighting, that is critical, and when your plane is going out, that is the difference between life and death. If you can eject out of the plane really quickly, that will save you. This plane can carry 2 people, as you guys saw, and it's amazing at dogfighting. Now, let's move on to the cons and see what we got. And here are our cons. The cannons aren't as fast and accurate as the jets, and they're not. The jets' cannons are straight up, and they fire very fast. They're wide and they fire slow, but they are good at hitting wider targets and jets in dogfights. And the missiles are terrible. The missiles, they have a cooldown, and it takes much longer to launch them versus the Molotov and the Starling, which are unlimited. And so basically, this vehicle has the least amount of cons that I've done in a review. So I don't normally tell people specifically to buy things, but this plane, definitely get it. Definitely worth the money. Very few cons. Pros completely outweigh it. It's a great plane. I think anybody will enjoy it, and it's a good plane to teach people how to fly also. So you get a military plane for your money, and people can become expert dogfighters with this plane. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Sorry about not live streaming last night. I was so tired that I couldn't. I just fell asleep, but I will do a live stream shortly after this video. So I'll see you guys in the next one, and take care, everyone.